The four beardsmen of the book Apocalypse.
Hey.
Hello.
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 Welcome back to the four or the three beardsmen of the book Apocalypse. We are listless for the time being, but hopefully he'll join at some stage. I think he's in a kayak in a lake.
Upper river without a list. So.
Yeah. But we are joined nonetheless by Stephen Aryan, of all people. Hi, Stephen.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I'd listed the books you've written, but there's so many. I don't know where to start. Which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think I counted 14. Is that right? Or 14 when
so 11 novels, 2 self-published novellas. I've actually short stories in some anthologies, and I've got 2 more coming out. That'll be 12 and 13.
Okay, so pretty close.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah. Not content with conquering the trad pub world, you've crossed the streams into the indie sphere as well.
Yes.
Huge respect. That cannot be easy.
No. That's an hour-long podcast in itself, you know.
What's he? Because you obviously you're agented. Are you still with Juliet Mushroom?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Which is like by no means feat. She's one of the major like SFF agents, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yes.
But what's the transition for you being like from going trad pub with Juliet to now the more indie stuff?
It's been interesting. There's a lot more to learn. Obviously, you have a lot more autonomy in that you get to do everything yourself, and you pick your editor, pick your artist. But obviously, you pay for everything yourself as well. There's a lot of technical stuff you have to learn when you. So I did my book, New York Minute, through Amazon. Did it on KDP and paperback. There's a lot of technical stuff to learn with that, which I hadn't done before. So Mike Fletcher, who's an indie published author, has done loads of books. He's a friend of mine through Crystal Matan. I messaged him and said, "You offer this service?" And because I can either show you how to do it, or I can do it for you. And if I show you how to do it, you'll know how to do it the next time. And I'm like, "Okay, show me." And so he'd literally say, "Right, step 1, go away and do this." And I'd go away and do the thing. They'd email me back and go, "Right, now go and do this thing. Right, now go and fill it and send me what you've done." And then I'd set the margins, and he'd be like, "Yeah, okay, that works, but I'd put them like this." So literally, step by step, he guided me through everything on how to do the technical aspects. And then when we got ready, now I'm doing the second one. I know what I'm doing, but it's a whole new kettle of fish to learn. It just requires a lot more skills. But then there's all the marketing that you have to do yourself, and setting up like a blog tour and making contact and email lists and emailing people and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot more legwork, really.
Yeah. Oh, we've had Mike on before, so he's a friend of the show, as they like to say.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, very generous.
Yeah. Some sick books, and yes, I think New York Minute was the first book I read actually, which was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Very pleased to say I've got an arc of The Dead Don't Lie, so that's going to be fired up pretty next week. So I think so. Looking forward to that.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
See what you think.
Yeah, see, my entry into your work was The Coward, which is like brilliant. It came around at such a cool time as well. Like it felt really different. Because everything at the time you released that book was grimdark this, grimdark that, and I was so bored of it. Like I enjoy reading the genre, but I needed something different.
Yeah.
And then you released The Coward. I was like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I'd done 6 books with the word mage in the title, so I'm like, I'm done with magic for now. I want to do something a little bit different. I'd been spending some time and reading about like soldiers coming back from war and PTSD, and I went to Canada and went to one of these places where you go and watch bears in the wild, and the guy that runs it used to be a journalist who worked in the Balkans for 10 years, so he ended up with PTSD stopped doing that, went and opened his fair place, and just complete change of scenery. So I listened to him, I talked to him, I read his biography, and I just that and my desire to do a classic quest fantasy novel with more stuff added in, layering about the nature of heroism and what makes a hero, and if someone becomes a hero, what does it actually mean in terms of celebrities and all this kind of stuff. And celebrity culture was swirling around my head, and we put people on pedestals, and then when they do something wrong, you get the apologists who go, oh well, he was only this, or you get the people who actually go, well, he's still human, they made a mistake. Do you tear them down, or do you so there's a lot of that kind of stuff. All these things kind of gel together, and the Coward was the product of it, really. So
it was great. It's just the way you just sort of subvert that hero genre. Like the main character he's not even like apologetically a coward. He just like, this is my experience and this is why we are going on a very foolish quest we probably won't come back from. Are you ready for this?
Well, yeah, he's a survivor. He literally was 17, saw all the great heroes going off on an adventure. They're all rich, famous, great armor, great swords. Everyone knows them, gives them free food and drink, wants to be them. He's like, I want some of that. So he tagged along with them against they didn't really want him there, but he goes with them on this journey, and he watches all of them die grisly deaths in front of him. He's the only one who survives and comes home. And the story begins 10 years later, where he's basically living a quiet life on a farm away from everybody. The world has moved on, but they've also benefited from his great exploits, propaganda of his great success. All stories are sung in the taverns. He's a great recruiting tool for the army. The king has been using to, so all this kind of stuff swirling around, and then a disaster comes up again, and the king goes, "Well, you did it last time. You can go and do it again." And he really doesn't really want to go. But the title isn't just about him in some ways. It's about everybody who goes with him. Everybody's hiding something. Everybody's running from something, and he assembles this new band of heroes together, including a weird creature that goes with them. To go on this quest again to fight this great evil that's kind of come up in the north. So there's lots of different elements on there. And one thing I forget to mention, one of the things that influenced the book is Tad Williams, that not many people realize. Okay. Simon Spanton, who's a great editor, SFF editor, who he commissioned Scott Lynch back in the day. He read it and he said something straight away. Like as soon as he read it, we had a conversation. He mentioned the thing, and I went, Yes, you're the first one who said it within like a week of reading it. It come out. He knew exactly what I was doing because he has the same reference points and stuff. And I was like, okay, so someone's got it.
Indication.
Success.
And there's a little hint for the rest of us they haven't read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, go out and get it. And then the follow-up, The Warrior, came out as well. I say not too long ago, but it feels like maybe it was a while ago now.
2022? Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
Yikes.
So, yeah, I've had another trilogy out since then.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, what is the secret? Because I'm a subscriber to your YouTube channel, and if anyone is not subscribing to Stephen's YouTube, you dispense so much advice in the publishing sphere, and it's been so valuable, like to me personally. I've learned a lot just from watching your videos.
Thank you.
But how do you sort of best put your experience to the test when you're writing books? What keeps you going to do book after book after book?
That's a good question. It's like how do they get published is the other reason, is perseverance. If I won the lottery tomorrow, like the Euro Millions, I won like £300 million or something, everyone's like, oh, you're going to buy an island and do this and do that. I'm like, no, I'd sit in my room and write books because that's what I want to do, that's how I want to spend my time. Like the goal isn't to be rich. There's far easier ways to be rich than writing books. The goal is to write books. So I persevered to get an agent, and it took me over 10 years of submissions and rejections because I just wasn't good enough. The quality wasn't there. One of the earlier books might have been okay, but it didn't hit the right time in the market. Wasn't the right thing at the right time with the right person. And if you're a control freak, traditional publishing is not the way to go because you can't control everything. Some things completely come down to timing and luck. and you can't control that at all. You can control all the other things about the book, but not that, which is why some people go straight to self-publishing or indie publishing, which is fine, but you need to understand it shouldn't be a knee-jerk reaction to go, well, they rejected me, so I'll show them, I'll sell millions of copies, and then it comes out and it doesn't, and you're like, that's not it. So persevering to get an agent, and I just love writing. I love doing it. It's what I want to spend my time doing, and I'm always pushing myself to try and do something different. Like I have a. Can we swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have I've spoken to other writers, and they have something similar, but we've all got a different name for it. I have the oh shit phase, which comes about 40 to 50,000 words into the book, where I think it's the worst thing I've ever written. I've wasted my time. I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm kind of like crawling over broken glass. And then after a while that fades, and then I move forward past it. And it's the fear that keeps you going, I think, because if it's easy to write, like, the whole thing just flew out of me. I'm thinking that something's not right then, because I'm not pushing myself. I'm not challenging myself. Or if it was boring to write, it's boring to read. So it's that thing of, if I'm having fun doing it, then hopefully the readers will. Plus, I'm just a stubborn bastard. I was always going to get published somehow, one way or another. It was always going to happen, whether I ended up self-publishing it myself or not. And it's just, I'm not done. I've got more stories to tell than time. So I've got to pick and choose now. I just write what I can, as much as I can. Like,
good news for your readers.
You're always ahead because traditional publishing is slow, which is good in some ways. Like, I just had a book deal announced. Book one's already written. It goes into edits. I'm 25k into the second book. That book's coming out in 2028. So by the end of this year, I'll have finished that book, and I'll be starting writing something else that in theory could come out 2028, 2029. You know, so
yeah. And we're here talking about books you wrote in 2020, well, released in 2022. Profuse apologies.
That's fine. It's fine. I started 2015. I've been with my agent since 2013, and then my first book came out 2015. So I've had 11 books in 11 years, basically, to now.
Yeah. But you've obviously been writing a lot of those before you got to that. That led to one of the questions I think else is, that traditional path versus, was that there's a conscious decision, or was that all you knew at the time? Or
so back in 2013, indie publishing wasn't really what it is now at all. It's come on a lot in the last 10 years. When I started out, it was very early days. Like, ebook readers were just coming in. The Kindle was the only one. Back then, like, Ben Galley was testing things with Amazon. He was like one of the early people doing it because no one else was self-publishing, and he was just like one of the first people doing it. So back then, you had two options. You had traditional publishing, or you had vanity press, which is where you send your book off to a company, they print it and send it back to you. No editing, no nothing. It was just, that was it, and you're hand selling books. So it wasn't an option. And once I'd started down the path of traditional, I was keeping an eye on the indie market, but I was going to all of the events, and they were always talking about traditional publishing. So, we have two events in the UK quite every year, EasterCon and FantasyCon. I was going to them. I was going to the ones in Derby, the quad events, and I was just learning all about agents and publishing as much as I could. So it just seemed the natural approach for me. And by the time I thought about self-publishing, I was already on contract and a bunch of books in, so I was in the machine really already.
Okay, that's good. And then the decision to sort of diversify. You mentioned New York Minute was your first foray into the dark side of indie publishing, and which is a fantastic book, by the way. I highly recommend it. It's
Thank you.
Very excited that sequel is coming out shortly. What prompted that, I suppose, to sort of to break away from what you've been doing for the previous 10 years, or what it was?
I get lots of different ideas for stories, and I scribble them down and put them away, and so that when I can come back to them and look, focus on the project that I'm actually doing and not get distracted, which is another kind of big problem for writers. So I had this idea. I came back to it. I started looking at it, and I started working on it. It wouldn't fit. It was like a square peg trying to go into a round hole. I kept thinking, well, maybe it's just a straight crime novel. and that didn't work. And then I was thinking, right, well, maybe it's a whole pure sci-fi novel, and that didn't work. And after a while, and then I was trying to make it longer, and I thought, no, the story's the story. So in the end, I just said, right, it is what it is. Stop trying to make it something it's not. Stop trying to change it. And while I describe it as, you know, hardboiled noir or detective story, it does have a mild speculative element. But I tend not to talk about that because people think, oh, it's going to be like aliens and spaceships and lasers. And I'm like, it's not really.
No, it's not. But it's a lovely mashup of those genres. I think that's what I think, you know, a lot of those books I've enjoyed recently where they're almost authors chuck the genre manual out the window and gone, I'm just going to write this fantastic story. And, you know, at the end of the day, maybe genre is just a bit of a marketing tool or descriptive. At the end of the day, it's still a great story. It just sort of helps people sort of place it in the pantheon of all the different stories there are. But no, I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was, you know, it was
different. And that was the problem, because it was different.
Yeah, but it sort of hinted at those alternative things that you could just tell that, you know, and initially it doesn't seem different. Then hang on, something's is it post some apocalypse? Is it a different reality? And a tease, because it's never really fully disclosed. It's just the world, you know, and
it was just a way for me to talk about us, humanity now, through a lens, a slightly different lens. So I didn't worry about the genre. I didn't worry about the length. I just wrote it. It ended up being like 42,000 words, which technically is slightly too long for a novella, but I wasn't going to call it a novel. Like, you know, so it's like, it is what it is. The second one is like 63, I think. The Dead Don't Lie. So that could be a short novel, I guess, but I'm just calling it like book 1 and 2. And I'm just, you know, so there again, because it was so weird, trying to find a traditional publisher for something that's a novella that's mixed genres is kind of difficult. There's some smaller ones that will take it, but I kind of thought this is probably the perfect first thing to self-publish, see how I get on, learn the ropes, get into the routine, understand all the different processes. I would start with a shorter thing because obviously it's cheaper to edit, produce, publish, print, and all that kind of thing. So it was a good kind of testing ground before I do like other things in the future.
Yeah. And does your agent play much of a role in that, or is she just content to say, do you know what? Do your personal stuff. Come back to me when you got the next trad book. Basically
that, because I went to her with this, and she basically said what I said, which is, it's kind of a weird thing. It's kind of neither fish nor fowl, and that's going to make it really hard to sell. She did take it to a couple of smaller publishers, and they were like, we're not really sure what this is, which I get. Publishers in general these days are quite risk averse, so they're not taking as many big swings on any books. Like trying to sell a book that's longer than a trilogy, especially in SFF space these days, you won't get it. They just won't do it. The risk is too great. Debuts now are all kind of like maybe a trilogy, but they'd hope for standalone with series potential is the buzzword, which is do one, and if it does well, do another one with the same characters. And if that does well, do another one until it stops doing well. Because if you go, here's a 10-book series, and they go, brilliant, and the first 2 sell well, and they've signed a contract for the next 8, and they're not selling well, that's a massive loss for them. So if you do something that's so different to anything else out there, there's 2 options. They won't take it, or they'll offer you a really small advance to minimize their risk. So a smaller publisher might have taken a risk on New York Minute, but because it's so weird, I probably wouldn't have got much for it. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'll keep this one myself. I told Juliet, and she was like, that's fine. You know, learn what you can. What are you working on in the meantime? And I'd already started the next novel. And then we started talking about that kind of thing and what we do with it. And so I've done these sort of 2 things in parallel, really.
Yeah. Awesome. And it's an interesting point, because I've known like pretty steady, like dependable mid-list authors who've had to condense trilogies or like long series into like duologies or even one book with trad pubs, and that's people who've already got a portfolio out there. So it can be a bit Wild West, old trad publishing.
It really is. Especially these days.
It seems to be the case. So probably another question I wanted to ask, with the myriad of genres that you've written in, when you started out writing, did you think you were going to be one sort of fancy author, or has it always just been a case that you just gone with what interested you and be damned.
I tried different genres on before I got an agent. So fantasy's always been my first love, and the majority of what I've read has been in the SFF space, always. I do read a lot of crime. I read some thrillers. I read, non-fiction. But because fantasy was the only thing that I could see, that was the only genre I could ever read. You had no other choice. I would just read fantasy, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So I started writing fantasy. I finished my first book when I was 19, and I was convinced it was so awesome because it was going to be a trilogy. I wrote the sequel, and then I started sending out the first one to agents, and oddly, they didn't pick that one up, which is very strange. So they had 2 books basically that were turkeys. But I did try other things. I wrote a thriller because I love Dean Koontz. I've read 95% of his books. I wrote a really pacey thriller book that got a little bit of traction, but ultimately wasn't distinct enough. I did a Stephen King kind of horror thing that was a bit like the Tommyknockers and a bit like The Stand.
Ooh, okay.
I went through an Anne Rice vampire phase. And I did a whole book of short stories with vampires and stuff, trying to do something a bit different. So I played around with different things. And ultimately, the book that got me an agent was when I said, you know what? I want to write a book that I'm not finding on the shelves right now. I want a book that's unapologetically fantasy. A lot of it, when I was working on mine, felt a bit like you'd get 200 pages in, thinking it was historical fiction, and then a dragon appears, and you go, "Oh, so it is fantasy." I'm like, no. Why are we apologizing? This isn't like the old days when. Yeah. Do you remember when Harry Potter first came out?
Yep.
And you had the adult covers on the books, so the adults could read it on the tube without being embarrassed. I was like, "Fuck off! There's nothing wrong with fantasy." You go back and read Macbeth, and let me have a look. A bunch of Shakespeare books. You've got witches, you've got magic, you've got ghosts. Yeah. You're going to tell me some of Shakespeare isn't fantasy? Bullshit. So I was like, no. So I wrote Battle Mage. I wanted something that was full of non-human creatures that I made up, and really powerful mages in your face that were blowing people off the battlefield, and lightning bolts, and really kind of all the stuff that I loved. And I love mythology, so there's a bunch of stuff in it's inspired by Greek mythology, like the old Ray Harryhausen films, all that kind of stuff. All these things I love mashed together, and I've sent that out, and that's the book that hooked Juliet as an agent, because she went, "Yeah, this looks really cool. What's this?" And so, I will do other things, but I think I'll always come back to fantasy, and I always say that fantasy is a massive cheat code where I can tell any kind of a story that I want with any subgenre, and as long as you put certain motifs in place, it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the breadth of all the fantasy subgenres now, low fantasy. That's basically noir. That's PI fiction. You just have to have a little bit of weird stuff around the edges. That's what that is. My second book has got cops. It's got a guy investigating a serial killer. It's got spies in it. My third book is a post-apocalyptic horror novel set in a city where the dead keep coming back, but they're not quite dead. It's inspired by things like Richard Morgan's I Am Legend and The Walking Dead and Cthulhu mythology. All of that's in the first trilogy. But as long as you put certain things in place, it's fantasy. And that's fine. A straight crime thriller, I might do that one day, like a Bosch novel by Michael Connelly, but with a central figure. But because fantasy is so broad, you can just do almost anything you want, really.
Yeah. I think that the hardest thing for me is just picking the one idea and saying that's the one I'm going to prioritize above all the others, because there's so much to just formulate.
Noise.
Yeah. I've obviously got the second book. I've done my first book, The Corsair, Sky Pirates. That's going to hopefully come out this year. It's with Mrs. Bookbeard for proofreading at the moment.
Excellent.
I'm not going to piss her off by saying, come on, where is it?
Where is it?
Well, do you want to sleep on the sofa, or
if it gets the book out there, I'll take the hit. But yeah, I'm working on the sequel, The Cartographer's Daughter. That's now 35,000 words in. But I'm also doing a deck building weird Western lit RPG, which is like Yu-Gi-Oh! In the Wild West. But then there's the epic fantasy that I've been sitting on for years and years. It is so hard to just pick one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is it. But It's that thing of
So having so many diverse books.
Yeah.
Yeah. What calls you at what time? Yeah. So having someone, did you say 14 books you've got out?
It'll be it's 11 so far.
So the
It'll be
golden
like 15.
question: have you got a favorite?
It's a Sophie's choice. No, it's like picking your favorite child. Can't do it. You've probably got one really, but you don't want to say it in public. Children, not books. You know.
Oh yeah, I tell my kids I've
You're
got a
not allowed
favorite.
to say, yeah.
I just don't tell them which one. So
Keeps them on their toes.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah. Hunger Games style, you know. Come on.
Yeah.
Throw a sword and a couple of spears in, see what happens.
Yeah,
What if we go for a favorite Dean Koontz book, just to sort of ease into the favorite Stephen Aryan book?
Oh God, that's tough as well.
That's even worse. How many books has he written?
A lot.
50 plus at this point.
I can narrow it down to two. I
Go
say
on.
Odd Thomas
Very good, yeah.
and Velocity.
I was going to say Lightning. I really love Lightning. What I can't remember. There's two books that he wrote about the albino guy that can only go out at night, and he's supposed to do a third, and he never did. He never went back to it. I can't remember, but Lightning is brilliant. TikTok is good. There's a bunch of really old ones that I started picking up when he used to have a big kind of mustache and his hair was thinning, and then he had the hair transplant and he shaved the mustache.
I mean,
It's like
you can't
when
have both.
Stephen King
It's
stopped
silly.
doing drugs. When Dinkins had the hair transplant and shaved. Where was it? Yeah.
I can tell you my favorite Stephen King book,
Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay.
The Green Mile.
Ah.
Yeah.
I've got like quite a few copies, including this one. It's in a slipcase.
Oh, very nice.
It's a special
Ooh.
edition from America within a slipcase version. But I've also got the originals in the 6 volumes because I read it when it was coming out in the kind of, the 6 things. He brought it out in little kind of chapbooks. So I've got my originals from back in like 1999 forward. I think it was from then when he's writing it, 26, 27 years ago. So, yeah. But Green Mile's my favorite.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think my very favorite thing is The Stand.
Wow.
I've read a lot of them, but The Stand still. I ironically reread it at the start of COVID because I was a bit of a masochist.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, seemed a good time, and largely it held up. I mean, some of it obviously, the world's moved on. There's a lot less sort of technology and that sort of thing that was, but still brilliant book. And the uncut version with the extra 200 pages, so it's really.
Yeah. I'm reading The Dark Tower for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Because I read the book one, The Gunslinger, when it came out. And then I kind of dropped off and read a bunch of other things. And then I got the box set at Christmas year before last. So now read the first 3. So I reread 1 thinking, I've read this and just remembering it all. And I've read 2 and 3. So I'm pacing myself in The Dark Tower now.
I feel like The Dark Tower is the Marmite of Stephen King's books. Like there's no in between. Like you either absolutely hate them or they're one of the best series ever made. I'm not going to say which side I fall on.
Well, so there's 2 things. One, he said that years ago, every time he'd go and do a book tour, he'd go to a signing and Stephen King would say, "Who's read The Stand?" Everyone's puts their hand up. "Who's read it?" Blah, blah. And they'd say, "Who'd read Dark Tower?" And like 5 people, 10 people out the room would put their hand up. It was the least read series of his. And the other reason I didn't read it until much later is I grew up reading the David Gemmell books about John Shanno, which is about a guy in a post-apocalyptic thing who's like a Western with the stones. And I'm like, wait, people are saying it's like this? Well, I've already read it. I've already read David Gemmell. So I felt like I'd already read it. So coming and reading it now just feels like I've got a bunch of extra books about, John Shanno again all over. But it's well under shame this time.
Yeah. No, it's all very good.
Yeah.
We mentioned it, Tom.
So speaking of other books, are we up for our challenge?
Oh, you're going to do a challenge. Okay, that sounds.
Are you just feeling because
I don't know if you're familiar with our little book challenge.
What's the challenge?
Well, yeah, he's not going to keep poking your deep dark secrets. So,
Yeah.
so you give me a number between 1 and 70,
Mm-hmm.
and I will give you an element, and you need to come up with a book that has this element in it. Some are really easy, some are the opposite.
Do you know what? Just before we do this, I have to say I had a
Are
complaint.
you ready? Are you ready to be tested?
I did have a complaint about this segment of the show at Spotlight Indie.
You had a
event.
complaint.
I had a complaint. I won't name who the complainee was, but the complaint was they could answer every question with The Hobbit.
Okay, that was Fraser.
It was not Fraser.
Ooh, interesting.
That's the surprising thing.
Well,
Okay.
having looked,
Okay, well,
It
Tommy,
wasn't me either. I'm not being a
having
dick.
looked
It's
at
not
the
like-
entire list, and the list has expanded recently.
yeah.
But that's not true anymore.
Okay.
I'd say we just ban
Let's
The
see if
Hobbit
we
as an
can
answer.
nullify that complaint.
Okay.
So, yes, give me a number between 1 and 70.
20.
Let's see if we can-
20. Pretty easy one. So, give me a book that contains an orphan.
Oliver Twist. Great Expectations.
Yeah, pretty simple. We can get juicier than this. Yeah, easy. Give us another number. Let's get a juicy one flowing. Let's put this complainee to shame.
Normally it takes people so long and everyone's like, oh shit, I've forgotten every single book ever written. Stephen's just like, Oliver Twist.
47.
Yeah, yeah.
47, The Hitman.
Ooh, oh well, this is probably quite easy. A character with your own name.
My own name. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Can't think
Come
of
on,
one.
come on, Hobbit person. I
So
wanna
that's
see it
not
on
in the
feed.
Hobbit.
That's
Yeah.
not
There's
a
not a
Hobbit.
Stephen in The
No.
Hobbit. That's right.
Maybe one of the Saxon Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell. There might be like a knight called Stephen in that or something.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but who knows?
You could have said it
Yeah.
authoritatively,
I
and we
think
were
it's
going,
probably
yes,
safe.
yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's one of the seventh Saxon Chronicle books.
Yeah.
Who's going to check?
True. Yeah. Okay. Do you want another one?
Go on.
4.
Yeah, give us another one.
Number 4.
Number 4, a servant who kills their master.
Angie Kills the King by Evan Lycombe that came out last year. It literally is chapter 1. It's not a spoiler because it's the whole point that kicks off.
Right.
This young servant girl serving this king thinks he's horrendous, thinks the world would be a better place without him. So she stabs him in the neck and kills him and then runs away. And then it's a book about, well, is the world better off and why did she do it? And was she the right person to do it? And these people are chasing her across because there's a bounty on her head. Excellent book. Excellent book. So I'm waiting for book 2, which will be next year, Angie in Shadow. And it's quite a simple tale, but there's a lot of really cool things in it. And the world building's really good. And I've spoken to Evan a few times about this book. So yeah, definitely check out Angie Kills the King.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Nice.
very well.
We like a recommendation as well as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a double win.
Double win.
Excellent.
So what's that? That's number 3. So let's do 5. Give us 2 more.
Yeah. That's the
Okay. 22.
A book that contains an author.
Is it Rearview Mirror by Stephen King, where it's a book about an author, or Bag of Bones is one by Stephen King. It's about a guy who goes.
This came up last time, didn't it? And we weren't sure.
Bag of Bones by Stephen King is one, and I think the one's Rearview Mirror because they made it into a film with Johnny Depp, where he goes a bit bonkers whilst writing a book in a cabin, and you start seeing all this weird stuff.
I was trying, which was the one that he read? Right. All the birds keep coming,
and it's a bit twisted. One?
Yeah.
Misery. There's another one by Stephen King with an author.
Misery. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. Excuse me while I just massage my ankles suddenly.
Yeah. So now the complaint is going to be Stephen King is the answer to all of these questions.
Probably yes.
Yeah.
There's probably a Stephen in the Dark Tower books.
Yeah, we're gonna have to shift that. Yeah. Okay. Last one. This has got to be the juicy one. Go for it.
61.
Oh, this will be a new one.
Ooh. Okay. So, a book that contains faster than light travel with a cost.
With a cost.
With a cost.
Well, it's to do with time, I guess. You're how far away from.
Hey.
Well, Christopher Rocchio books, The Sun Eater, has faster than light travel, but it's that thing of where if you've been away and you come back, how much time has actually passed? Like you could be gone.
Yeah, it's a really huge universe. Yeah,
and they put you into sleep basically. So like he ends up being hundreds of years old while a lot more time has passed around him.
Yeah,
because he's just been in like frozen sleep essentially, cryo beds whilst it travels. So yeah, that's another great series which I finished last year. The Sun Eater books by Christopher Rocchio.
Yeah, I've not finished it, but it is
you're in for a treat.
Yeah. That reminds me of, I think I'm at book 3. I think I've got loads to come.
Mm-hmm.
But that reminds me, speaking of David Gemmell, my favorite David Gemmell book, and don't get me wrong, they're all brilliant. Echoes of a Great Song.
Yep.
Do you know that?
Yep, I remember that one.
You know that book? So I'm sure, I mean, it's a long time since I've read it, but isn't there a crime and punishment thing where they take time away? If you get in trouble, you get time removed from your lifespan into some crystal. Is that right?
Maybe. There again, it's been like 20 years since I read that one as well.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Nice.
Some good additions to our...
I think we can say you passed the challenge with flying colours.
Hey!
Just the speed at which he could answer those questions.
Yeah.
It's the genre I love. I've just been soaked in it for, decades.
Oh, no, it's a skill. I put this to the team I changed it last week, and there's a few bit of head scratching. And can I check my Goodreads? But in Anna's defense, she has rated 600 books on Goodreads, so I thought it was a bit mean to say no, you can't.
No.
I mean, like the whole FOMO party just froze. Yeah.
It even we got there, even through the great P.L. Stewart had to pause for thought. So
it's nice. I also feel the pressure's off David Liss. He doesn't have to raid through Stephen's bins to come up with some professional research.
I forget. Well, we know what book David always says anyway. It's not The Hobbit, but it is. Every time he brings it out, but it was all good. So another question I had for you, Sam, was just you mentioned Tom. You mentioned about Stephen's YouTube channel, and you wrote your book, The Good and Bad Advice About Writing. What prompted that, and my dog would shut up. Sorry, apologize. I just sort of how did that come about, and sort of motivations behind that?
So I started doing the YouTube channel. I think it started around COVID time as well, because I missed going to events and talking to people, and I found the YouTube channel a good way to talk to authors and interview them and chat to them because we couldn't go and do it in person. And the other reason I started doing the YouTube channel is that there's so much bad advice out there, it pissed me off. Like a lot of it was lies, just absolute lies about traditional publishing. I literally go on and just debunk other videos. And so I thought, given all, all the stuff I've learned, be a great way to put it into one place. So there's a couple hundred videos on there, but I also wanted a way that if you're not, on social media or you're not on YouTube, there's a way you can just go away and learn from it. So I did a bunch of articles I'd done in other places, and I kind of just collated it all together and just thought, all the stuff I've learned, all the lessons I can pass on, all the mistakes I made that I wish I'd known beforehand. And it's just a bit of like paying it forward, because I had people help me along the way. And so it was just kind of doing some of that, some stuff from the videos and some lessons that other people could avoid, pitfalls and things. And then again, it was like my first thing that I just like bashed it out on ebook on Amazon, and it's still ticking along. So
nice. I want to go around the panel. I want to know everyone's best, worst literary advice. I think DB can come up with something good.
The best, worst advice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to a bit of a pitfall I fell in when I was asking the internet about writing as women, and it went terribly wrong. It was a very black and white. I got called a misogynist. I got thanked by women across the universe. It was very divisive. But I basically wanted to ask women if there's anything that I will probably get wrong as a man, and I meant to do it really respectfully. And I got advice that really shocked me, like, don't describe characters' breasts first. Things like that. Like, what?
Well,
like,
obviously, you were going to do that. I mean,
that's what I was going to do, yeah. And
delete. Oh,
Control F, breasts.
Yeah.
It's a novella now.
Yeah. It was insane, and the amount of exposure I got to people putting up samples of men writing women badly really blew my mind. So ever since, hopefully I can write women, but we'll find out. But that was a scary time, a scary sort of post that went infinite.
So I did ask a guy. He is a creative writing lecturer at a British university, and I said, like, how do you write women? And he said, just write a guy and say it's a woman. I thought, okay. Right. I'm not sure if that's good or bad advice, but there you go.
No.
Take.
Worst advice I probably heard from a lot of people is you have to write every day. I kind of hate that because it's not realistic for lots of people for many reasons. It just kind of annoys the shit out of me. Like, not everybody can just sit down and take time out every day.
Yeah.
And while you do have to give up something else in order to have the time to write, I think writing every day can become destructive. It can become a cycle of self-hatred. If you set yourself a word count, you don't beat it. And then the next day, but right, 500, I didn't do my 500. So today I'm going to do 1,000. And then the next day I didn't do that. Tomorrow I'm going to do 1,500. And it's like, and if you miss a day and something happens, or it just becomes this kind of self-flagellating cycle of punishment. Yeah. And if you're tired or you're burnt out, so writing every day is horrible advice. There are some people that can do it, great. For most people, it's unrealistic. It's bad advice. You won't be more productive. You'll be less. And it just really annoys me. It's one of these things there again that people are like, oh, but if you were serious about it, you would write every day. And I'm like, I don't even write every day now. So, and I've had a dozen novels published. So fuck off, basically.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, I don't know if I can say best of words like being the only non-writer, but I think certainly what strikes me is, and you mentioned it at the start, Stephen, is that if you're write what you're enjoying, and I know it might be a little bit easier in the indie sphere where you've got the latitude to write a little bit more what you want, perhaps unless you're on a deal or something. But yeah, if you're enjoying it, I think that comes across to the reader. If it's a book that you enjoy, if it's got your passion, and think that will translate in the story and will come through, and pick the readers, and then when I go into the whole indie sphere and people about their authors talk about their books, you could see the enjoyment and the passion, and that comes out, and you think, yeah, I can feel that in the story, and I think that does translate. Might be easier said than done, obviously, but
you're going to be talking about the books for a long time, so you may as well enjoy it. Like whatever happens,
and reading and working on it for a long time as well. So
literally years of your life writing it, and then years of your life editing it, and then years of your life talking about it. If you didn't enjoy it in the first place, why bother? There again, there's a lot easier ways to do another hobbies you can do that you do like. So
definitely.
That was one of the good bits of advice I got early on. Was like you said before, if you're coming up to a scene that you're kind of dreading and you're going to have to wade through it just to get the right plot points, it's going to be a crap scene and nobody's going to enjoy reading it. Change it, do it right, deliver it in a different way that you enjoy.
Yes, absolutely that. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite pieces of writing advice that I actually do to avoid writer's block is you take any one of your main characters and then you kill them off. It doesn't have to be canon, but it's like surprisingly liberating. You take your main character and just horribly murder them. It's crazy writing. I think it was Tess Gerritsen who gave me that advice, like a meet and greet in Waterstones. Mm-hmm. I thought that's bloody good, actually.
There's a certain author in this panel that might have done that. Still haven't forgiven him, but
no. Well, that's another bit of advice I got was never be afraid to destroy the world you've already built.
Yeah.
And that can be a little bit scary, but I like the idea that you can go off the edge of the cliff at any point and the world changes.
Yeah,
you just Thelma and Louise it and see what happens next.
It's certainly a lesson that George R. Martin has taken to heart. When I first started reading, what? Another one I'd like to change.
He just took my advice, but left all those scenes in the books.
Yes, that's it.
Basically, everybody dies.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the table.
Yeah, don't get attached to anyone.
Yeah.
I
remember having a really emotional time. I mean, it was more about the show, but a really emotional time when Arya finally gets up north and thinking, there's nobody left. Like, there's no north to return to. She doesn't know anyone that's alive.
Yeah.
Surrender.
But that's part of the reason it hasn't finished. He's almost soft locked himself into ending that series in a satisfactory way. And we saw how it went with the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It did take a dive.
We don't know what to do. Just make him.
He might just be trolling everyone. Like, he'll be on his deathbed and be like, "Hey, guess what? Here's the final 2 novels. Fuck you, guy.
I finished it 15 years ago."
That'd be like, okay, touche.
I won't be around to see you moan about it.
Yeah.
Dear George, nope, not reading it.
Or Bill Screw go, last page. Fuck off.
That's what it says. The final FU. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I think you deserve that. He can do what he wants. So.
Yeah.
It was all a dream from Hot Pie.
Joe Ewing gets out the shower and like Dallas.
Yeah. I was gonna ask another question. Now I'm gonna think what I was asking about. Oh, that was it. Yeah, I think I picked up. I think it was one of the big indie panels earlier this year, whenever it was. I should know. I hosted a couple, but there's one series we had on the fusion of history, fiction and history. That was it. And one of the things there was or I suppose points that everyone agreed on was that in regards to historical fiction, that it was better to have. It had to be a good story over historical accuracy. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but and obviously you've had some historical fiction, and it. Did you feel under pressure when you're writing that to be accurate to a degree, or was that? Did you give yourself latitude?
If I was doing it again, I would do inspired by, as opposed to being historical. So you could do something like, you say it's based upon. So actually, that's a good point. Jackson Ford has done the Bone Raiders, and the second book, which I've just got a copy of, Sisters Lizard, is based on or inspired by Mongolia and Mongolian culture. It's not set in a specific time period. My last trilogy is set in 1260, starts in 1260, and the first book is fairly historically accurate up to a point. In terms of all of the main events are historically accurate. Who was there and the timings I've shuffled to make the story work a bit better. But that first book was really quite tight. So when we got to the edits, my editor was like, right, can we change this bit? And normally it's a lot easier. With this one, I was like, okay, but if you change that, it knocks on this, and this. And it's gonna take me months to unpick it. She's like, right, okay. But on the second book, I steered a bit further away from history, and the third bit further away from history again. But it was like turning one of those massive tankers. You can't do it too quickly. I mean, because a lot of the characters are real people, but only some of them are fictional people. I had that right from the beginning. So that was a real challenge. It was a real kind of issue. I was dancing between the raindrops of history whilst changing some things, but also I felt the pressure of not making it radically different. Whereas Jackson could have giant fire-breathing lizards in book one. And you're like, okay. Because it's not set in 1260. It's not set in Mongolia. It's set in, this land that he's created that's similar to. So I kind of made a bit of a rod for my own back. But there again, it was a challenge, and I wanted to do something a bit different. I hadn't done before. So, it was quite a lot of work and a lot of research. I wanted it to feel accurate to the period up to a point. And beyond that, I just point to the spine where it says fantasy.
It can be an intensely difficult genre to write in. Like I felt miserably. Like my book was like the story of Blackbeard and Stede Bonnet, and I couldn't just manipulate it enough. I was like, it's either going to be a textbook or it's got to be fiction. And I just decided to go the fiction route.
I think it can work well. I mean, I've read. Oh, it's not out yet, but I've read the second. But the Undead Samurai, but the Tease wrote, and I have read the sequel, but I'm not sure when that's coming out yet, so I probably can't say too much about that one. But again, it's feudal Japan. A lot of the characters in it are real, actual, samurai and people like that from the time. Now, obviously, there weren't zombies walking around in feudal Japan that we're aware of. That we know of. Maybe British knows something we don't, and then there was, but it worked quite well because it had that feel of, feudal Japan and the sense of honor and all that stuff, but obviously with that twist element to it. So I think and anyone who comes up, that's not accurate. It's like, are you not reading the story? It's like,
did you not see the zombies? Did you know? Did you know it's not the zombies?
I feel like when you call your book Undead Samurai, there's a suspension of sort of disbelief where you can get away with pretty much anything.
Well, it is on. It does say it on the tin, so you shouldn't go in with any.
If you pick up Undead Samurai and decide to be offended by any historical inaccuracies, again, judge the book by its cover. It's
But I'm sure that someone has.
I still got complaints from historians. So
really,
and I'm like, it's fantasy, dude. I'm not writing a non-fiction book about this period. There's plenty of those. Go and read them.
And probably complain about them as well.
Probably. Yeah.
Or quit complaining and write your own book. That could be another.
There is that too. Yeah. If you want to see it, you want to do it right, go and do it yourself.
Exactly. Now, I left field question, but I'm going to jump into it anyway. Now, I've in the limited research, and I would say research with a small R as opposed to the big R that Mr. List does. You're a fan of real ale, I understand. It's a very good beverage. Not a lot of it in Australia, but there is some. If you had to pair a drink with your books or series, what would you choose, and maybe a bit of wine?
Well, for the trilogy that's just done, the Mongol inspired one, I do like multiple drinks because this is true. This is how bizarre the Mongols were. One of the Khans died from gout, right? But he had, I think it was a French engineer, construct a fountain in the capital city that had 3 or 4 bowls, 3 or 4 mouths that came out, and these bowls that captured the water. Except it wasn't water. One of them had wine, one of them had whiskey, and one of them had like Arag and another one. So this fountain was constantly churning alcoholic drinks out, and you literally just go up to the fountain and fill your glass, and then go and try something else. So maybe beer, maybe Arag, which is their kind of like fermented mare's milk that all the Mongols used to drink. Maybe whiskey. So you can have multiple drinks to go with that one, really.
Yeah, I like it.
Did this fountain like all merge into one like real nasty cocktail?
No, separate pools full of drinks.
Okay,
and this is real. First, I'm like, hang on, this can't. And no, he actually paid for someone to do this and have it built right there. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of special.
Yeah.
That's a good flex.
I feel like we needed one of those like in the authors section at Spotlight Indie. Never mind coffee and tea. Just one of these Mongolian fountains.
Giant fountains that pours drinks in an endless cycle.
Well, that there we go. That's you got time to Holly. 2 years' time, we need a Mongolian drinking fountain.
The panels might get a bit lively though.
Be a lot of fun. It'll certainly be a lot of fun.
A lot less sensible, perhaps.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
You find stock fun.
Oh, she's listening. It's on the list.
It's on the list. Thanks. Brilliant.
That's how we can tell that Fraser's hijacked the account and not Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. Do I tell them if you're alive for 300 years? Yeah, probably. I'd probably be that guy.
Yeah.
I think you
I
find
think it's a great idea though, like pairing real ale with your books.
Yeah. Pick different ones.
Yeah. I want to know what DB would pair with Callus and Crow and Residuum.
See, I would normally take 3 hours to decide something like this, but I was instantly thinking chocolate stout straight away. Nice and dark and irony, but with a bit of sweet, bit of fun as well.
That
Not too dark, but you can't get through a pint.
That sounds nice.
I'm quite proud that I've decided something so quick.
Didn't I think about it?
That could have been months.
But you haven't said which book.
That's true.
Well, I think they've both got the same. Well, maybe, perhaps Residuum's a bit less stouty and a bit more like a sour. Just a bit more. It's not quite as dark, but it's got plenty of magic swirling about in there. But it's nice and sweet as well.
A plum porter. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Titanic Brewery plum porter. It's a little bit of fruit, a little bit of zing to it. I like that.
Yeah, but with substance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good shout.
What about the Corsair?
I mean, it's obviously rum.
Well, you kind of get a bit of yeah.
A nice crusty juggler, dark rum, dark spice rum.
Yeah.
From Cornwall.
Although most of that book was fueled by drinking Elijah Craig bourbon. So, John Douglas has joined us. No, I always say Elijah Craig because it's an amazing bourbon. Most of my editing and writing of the Corsair was done fueled by that stuff. It's my secret power as a writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Isn't there is there fine balance? Because like, where'd that word come from? We look like
Oh yeah. I didn't say how much editing was required after writing a book.
Can't see at my left eye, but I've enjoyed working on this book.
Yeah.
We have this one.
A little too much dark room.
Yeah. I was going to say Carlson Crow's with that, or some sort of beer with a hard whiskey chaser, is like, you know, a little punch it when you least expect it.
You can get those beers that have been aged in the rum barrels. Something and something.
Innocent Gun.
That's it. There you go. Innocent Gun. Yeah, they're aged in rum barrels. So you get that kind of raspy edge to them. That's quite nice.
Yeah.
Innocent Gun. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now you're talking. There you are. 2 in 1.
Yeah.
2 in 1.
Nice. Yeah. Excellent.
Not the dark beer. I can't remember what it's called now. Something like Tokyo Dark. I bought it years ago at a bit of a whim, one of these places, and the guy said, "Oh, it's good," and then got home. It was 19%.
It's too much.
It was like I shared with a friend, and it was like, ooh, yeah. I think I did fall asleep on the sofa that night. But
one of my favourites that they don't make anymore was Ilkley Black from Ilkley Brewery in Yorkshire.
Yeah,
it was 4%, wasn't strong at all. It was really tasty. I don't like licorice, and I was like, nope. And I tried it the first time, like, this doesn't taste like licorice, and it was really, really nice. And they stopped making it. They did something else, and then they brought it back, and then they changed it, and then they just stopped doing it altogether. And I was gutted, because I used to live in Yorkshire for 10 years, and it was my local. I could go and get it quite easily from places, and I just stopped doing it.
Yeah,
gutted.
Tragic.
Yeah, never mind. Bring back Ilkley Black, Ilkley Brewery.
Yeah. You heard it first. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
So that'll be good. So that was all good. So what's next? Obviously, Dead. Oh God, gone completely blank. Dead Don't Lie's coming out soonish.
It's in theory the end of June. I might have to push it back and stuff because I need to there's a couple things behind the scenes, and then I need to sort of arrange like a blog tour and stuff. So it might be July. A new book deal was just announced. That'll be books.
Of course, yeah. Can you tell us about that a little bit for people?
Yeah. So 2 books. They're the standalone with series potential. Oddly, it's the first book. Silver Tongue Devils comes out in March 2027, and the sequel with the same characters will probably be the next year in probably March as well. So I describe it as a fantasy version of Firefly, the old. If you ever see the TV show,
Yeah.
I've done books about kings and mages and the big decision makers. I've done books about all these people like changing the world that are the levers. I now wanted to write a bunch of books about characters that weren't those people, but everything you do has repercussions. So in the book, there are 5 groups that are only in the world that are only allowed to use the title mercenary, and they're kind of like celebrities. And we follow one group who are called Winter. They're a found family of 5 people. They've been there, they've done it, they've got the T-shirt, they've seen more things than people can imagine. And book 1 is literally, they've just come back from a job. The broker who deals all the stuff for them says, right, here's your next job. It's quite urgent. You need to go. This whole town has kind of been taken over, but the people don't really want to leave, and they don't really know why. And something's gone on, and yet the whole town's kind of been enslaved. So Winter is hired. They have to go up there, find out what's going on without getting enslaved themselves, and solve the problem. And then they get paid, and then they go home, and that's it. That's the job. And then the second book is them on a different job. But of course, there are trickling effects. There are threads that dangle over. There are things that are repercussions from book 1 into more stories. And so, yeah, I'm 25K now into book 2. I'll be editing Silver Tongue Devils in the next few months. It's been picked up by the Broken Binding, who obviously started off by doing special editions, but they've now moved into actually being a publisher themselves. So they started with doing indie books into the traditional space, So the first one was Ryan Carhill, his series, which is huge success, and he's currently on tour with that book. The first novella, The Fall, has come out. Book 2, I think, is going to be like either later this year or next year. Philip C. Quantrell is another indie author who's done very, very well in the indie space. He's having his books traditionally published through Broken Binding. And then he started commissioning brand new books. So there's some other authors that are going to be named, but mine's the first deal that's been announced. And there'll be more coming in the pipeline. They'll be announcing it through their press. And Marcus Gips is the editor. He used to work for Gollancz. Now he works for them and for Broken Binding. And so, I'll be working with Marcus for the first time. I've known Marcus for like 20 years at this point, probably. And I've seen him at conventions for tons of time, but I've never worked with him before. So I'm looking forward to working with him and working on Silver Tongue and then the sequel. So
nice.
That'll keep me busy for 2 years.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we know where you'll be and what you'll be doing, so that's good.
Yeah, and you're pretty local to Broken Binding, aren't you?
Yes. So I'm not far from Birmingham, and they're sort of down near Redditch. So it's like an hour, probably an hour to drive from here. So
they're getting a physical store as well. I saw
they're opening their first physical bookshop in Stratford upon Avon. It's a big tourist town, a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people coming to see Shakespeare's home and walk around town there. So it's going to be opening in the summer. We don't know well. It might be July, it might be August, but they'll obviously announce it everywhere, and it'll be a big opening. And people are like, "I'm coming over to England on holiday. I'll make sure I stop by." And I'm like, "All right." So it'll become a destination for people, I guess. A reason to go to Stratford if they weren't before, which is a great idea.
And when Stephen has released book 2, you'll be able to find him by the Mongolian drinking fountain at Spotlight Indie 2028.
Basically, I've set one up in the back garden. You'll just see me.
You just set one up on your author stand.
True. I'll get a lot more visitors at that point.
Yeah.
Bring your own cup and enjoy a drink.
Yeah. See, I was so woefully underprepared because in my first ever convention, I did not know what I was doing. I stupidly took 30 copies of my anthology with me. And I took the train. I didn't even drive. I thought, I'm so smug and so smart taking the train. Of course, there were industrial strikes all weekend. And it was hot. It was awful. But I did not sell 30 copies. But that's all I had on my table was just me and a book.
Yeah.
But it was relatively effective. But
Next time I have the fountain. That'll help.
Fountain.
Yeah. And you've got your marketing beard, so
I did have a marketing beard. Yeah.
Like, which one's Tom Bookbeard? Let me guess.
I did point to the back of the book and say, "Can you guess which author I am?"
Nope, no clues.
No, come on. Yeah, help a man out. All good. No, I think, guys, we always have we've got sort of a couple of favorite questions that we'd like to ask our authors towards the end, whether it's I was originally thinking brown paper bag, but I'm thinking cage match. I think that's always quite. What do you reckon? Yeah.
I think brown paper bag is too difficult because it's going back to asking Stephen to pick a favorite book that he's written.
Yeah.
We need a few more real ales in him before he'll do that.
True story.
Not watching public. We will get an answer out of him one day, but it might take a couple of rounds with the Mongolian drinking fountain to get to that.
Yeah.
So watch that space. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we had the cage match question. So Tom, you ask it better than me. I'll let you ask it.
Okay. So author cage. You're only asking this because John Douglas is in the chat.
Well, we know what his answer will be. So.
He's the most cage matchy author that there is. Okay. It's the author cage match. You can choose one opponent, author, live or dead, no holds barred. Only one person leaves the cage. Who is your opponent in the cage match?
What I think I'm going to beat.
Well, you don't.
You can have any motive you like for your choice.
I chose Mark Twain just because I thought it would be cool, but I do fully believe that Mark Twain would kick my ass.
Well, you see, I'm quite tall, so I've got quite a lot
Yeah.
of reach. So
True.
you know, to make it a fair fight, I'd have to pick someone who's much taller than me, or at least as tall as me. You know, and I'm the president of the Tall Fantasy Authors Society.
That's I'm pretty sure I've heard that. So.
Yeah, there's a minimum height requirement of 6'2" for men and 5'10" for women, and there's quite a few members in there. You know, but I'm not the tallest in the society. So I'd probably put Jay Christoph in. You know, the dude's like 6'7" ish.
Yeah.
And I'd probably just keep ducking and weaving and just ask him lots of questions about writing his books and just tire him out. Be like, so when you were working on Empire the Fire, no, wait a minute. So what was you working on, and how? I just wear him out, right? Get so frustrated.
Just keep mentioning Dave Grohl.
And then when he sits down on the floor, like, right, now we can have a conversation about writing. So, where did you get started? What were your inspirations for this one?
There you go.
Go, Jay Christoph.
Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
I like it. Very good.
Is he the tallest in the society?
Yes, he's the biggest. Like coming in second, you've then got like Dave Ragg and Ian Green, who are like 6'6".
Is Ian Green 6'6"?
Ian Green's immensely tall. So is Dave Ragg.
Wow.
Then it's me at 6'5". Then it's like Ryan Cahill at 6'4".
I'm about to say I have met Ryan, but yeah,
You've got Justin Lee Anderson at 6'3". In terms of the women, you've got people like L.R. Lamb. She's about 6 foot. You've got Sarah Larifi. She's 6 foot. Gemma Moore, she might be 5'10" in heels. Let's say that, but she's very tall for a woman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tall boys out there. Quite a few tall girls in terms of fantasy. Samantha Shannon, she's probably like 5'11". She's a very tall woman too. So
Wow.
I'm desperate. I'm saving Priory of the Orange Tree for like when I've got a break and I've got holiday. I can just sit and focus and read that book.
Yeah.
Just get cracking on it. You know, one of these ones we can't like read 2 pages and put it down and read two. Like no. Some books you can just kind of read in small chunks, and other things like I want time to soak into it and read it. So
it's a book for the bottom shelf of the bookcase.
It's a beast. It's a beast of a book. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, all good. So, if we want to track down your books and learn more about you, where's best for them to go?
My website is good. If you want signed copies of any of the paperbacks, the best place is the Broken Binding. They've got their special website. There's all the specials, but they've got the normal website too that does like paperbacks on everything, like a Waterstones type book. And every now and then I go in because they're only down the road, and I'll sign a bunch of stock of their paperbacks of all my stuff. In terms of social media, I'm only on Instagram. I used to do other things, but I kind of got bored, and also you're splitting your time too much. So the best place to find me is Instagram.
Cool.
And I just kind of drift around there quite often. My YouTube channel is still going. I basically stopped doing videos, but there's a couple hundred videos on there. So if you want writing advice and to hear me talk to other authors, there's lots on there. So yeah, that's a good place.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the time. And the sun has finally risen in the southern hemisphere. So
I like how that's our benchmark now for like it's now time to finish the episode. It's like the sun has come up in Australia.
my children, the sun has set, and I feel like the end of Teletubbies, you know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
yeah. The large babies are just what have I been drinking?
It's a giant baby in the sun.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I must go have a lie down. I think. I think so. Everyone go. Check out Spotlight Indie as well. We're sort of giving them a break this weekend, taking over as usual. We've got a host of guests. I don't think we've organised any dates for our next couple of dates. So, but watch this space. We'll chatting to lots of authors, and Tom's up. RPG master, Gage Master Extraordinaire. So
it's been a while actually. Yeah,
I think we'll have one of those before too long. I think it's my character's got a bit itchy and needs to, Aussie Rob's got to ride forth again. So we'll look forward to that. And just want to thank you to everyone that joined us and watched us, like, subscribe. And that is it, really. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you when we see you next. So thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.
Everyone.
You've been listening to the Four Beardsmen of the Book Apocalypse. Like, share, and subscribe